Good morning, children. In the last session, we had discussed about the improved methods of agriculture, and in that, we had completed improved seeds and the two modern methods of irrigation. Do you all remember them? Yes, the drip irrigation and sprinkle irrigation. So today, dear children, we are going to discuss about the different types of fertilizers and what are the different ways in which a farmer has to take care of his land, of his crops, and also of the grains after harvesting, after the grains are stored, how to take care of it. So let us begin. So if the farmer grows the same crops repeatedly in the same field every year, slowly, year after year, the fertility of the soil will decrease. That means the soil will become less fertile because all the nutrients have been taken away by the crops, by the plants. That is the reason we need to add fertilizers so that the productivity of the soil will remain. Otherwise, the soil will look like this. As you can see now, it will look as infertile, as fallow. So now there are two types of fertilizers. One is natural fertilizer and the other one is chemical fertilizer. Natural fertilizers are also called as manures. These can be made at home by using the green waste, that is the waste from your vegetables, the skin of the fruits, animal dung, the remains of the tea powder after straining the tea, dried leaves from your garden. All these together can be converted into compost, which is also called as manures or natural fertilizers. In fact, in the traditional methods of agriculture, that is in the olden times, the farmers used to only use natural fertilizers for the growth of their crops. Later on, farmers started using the chemical fertilizers for quicker growth and higher yields. That means the crops will grow quicker, they will grow fast, and they will give better production, better grains. But we need to remember that although the chemical fertilizers give better production, it has also lots of harmful side effects. One of these effects is that when these chemical fertilizers get collected or accumulated in the soil, after few months or years, the fertility of the soil reduces. Instead of increasing, it decreases. So that again affects the productivity of the soil in a very bad way. In the previous session, we had learned how water is very important for the crops. So instead of waiting or depending only on the rains, farmers irrigate their crops. Irrigation means supplying of water to the crops. So we have discussed in the last session two new methods of or modern methods of irrigation, that is sprinkle irrigation and drip irrigation. But today we will understand that excess water or too much water can also be harmful for the soil. Overwatering or excessive water makes the land salty or saline. Now, where does this happen? This happens normally in a place where water is available in plenty, like a river bank or the fields near the dams. So let us remember this, that extra water, overwatering, is also harmful for the crops and also for the land. So when the land thus becomes saline and fallow, what can we do? We can test the soil in laboratories and find out which substances or which particular minerals has the soil lost, and then that particular mineral or nutrients can be added in the soil. Now this is not a easy process. It is a very time consuming and costly process. That is why it is recommended always for the farmers that they should use only and only organic fertilizers, that is manures or compost, and also they should avoid the use of excessive water or excessive chemical fertilizers. Now the farmer starts irrigating properly in a limited way and also using good organic fertilizer. But the farmer's challenges don't stop here. The crops, as they start growing, can also get infested by pests or insects, or sometimes even diseases which attack the crops. These pests or diseases can damage the entire crops in the fields. That is why, as a remedy, as a solution to this, the farmer uses insecticides and pesticides. Now, these insecticides and pesticides can be sprayed on the crops, or sometimes even certain chemicals are rubbed on the seeds before the seeds are sown. Now you might think that once the harvesting is done, once the crops are cut and the grains are separated, the farmer is very happy and he has no more difficulties. But no, you are wrong. Even after the grains are separated, storing the grains is also a very big challenging task for the farmers. For this, the grains are first dried well in the sun and filled in sacks. Now these sacks are then stacked in the houses if the farmer has a small field. But if the farmer has a huge field, then after selling the grains, he has to store the remaining grains in huge warehouses or shops. So the farmer has to see that the warehouse is spacious, is airy, means lot of air can flow through it, and it should be always dry. After storing the grains in these warehouses, there are other challenges, like sometimes these grains can be infested or can be attacked by tiny insects, or sometimes even by pests like the rodents, the rats. So the rats, if they attack this warehouse, they can destroy the entire sacks of grain. If the warehouse is closed or damp, then the grains also catches fungus and it becomes unfit for selling and for eating. That is why, to prevent all of these damages, chemicals are sprayed in the warehouses where the grains are stored. Sometimes the farmer also keeps neem leaves, which also are very effective in repelling the insects. Repelling means keeping them away. So that's all for today. Now, for your homework, please read the lesson from your textbook till page number 60, 60, and write at least 20 new words that you have found and write them 5 times each. See you in the next session. Have a nice day.